Hey everyone, and welcome to, well, my garage. Today, we got a special project. We are going to be putting on some 20 amp outlets over top this existing drywall. So if you want to learn something, come along for the ride. So I'll just kind of show you guys around here, see what I'm working with. So if you look right here, what we're doing right away, we got this wire coming from the basement. I'll kind of show you guys a little video of that later of how I ran the wire. Comes through the wall here and up through these pipes here. There's conduit. And it's a 20 amp circuit, so this will be the first outlet in the circuit. I'll do a GFI outlet here. And then as we go, I'll run this way and I'll go up and around to other outlets and I'll kind of show you guys the whole process of doing that. I guess first off, I'll kind of run you guys through the basement here and see what we're working with. Right here, as I showed you in the garage, this is where the wire's coming through and it goes through this hole in the garage. And I ran it all the way up in the ceiling and that goes all the way over to the electrical box, which is this yellow wire dangling down right here. Hooking it up to the box is going to be the last thing I'm going to do, because I don't want power to run into anything until I'm ready to test it. So if we look a little closer at this, I decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount everything to these whiteboards. So this one up here is a 1x4 and this one here is a 1x3. And I spray painted them white because I think it'll look a little nicer in here. And that way with these boards I can just screw everything to them and not directly on the sheetrock wall. Now, these boards are screwed into the studs, which is kind of the main reason why I wanted to do them too. So the first thing I think I'm going to do, I don't quite like the looks of this long board here. So what I'm actually going to do, I'll go into the basement and I'll put a backer board, probably a 2x4, on the inside of the wall there. That way I can shorten this board up here and then screw it through the wall into that backer board. Then this doesn't have to be so long. I swear I keep losing my hammer. I don't know if that happens to any of you guys, but I lose all the tools around here and I can never find them until like 5 minutes later. Alright, so if you look here, this is where the wire comes through the wall. What I had before, this little guy was going into the wall like this with the wire coming through it, but I didn't have this extra little piece in there. I decided to add that in there, that way it can stick into the wall a little further, and then what I'll end up doing is from the inside, I'll spray foam around it, that way the wire's not touching a whole lot more insulation than what it is right now. Alright, now that we got that done, the next step now is, this is still a little loose down here, but I got some straps that'll go around this and that'll hold that tight against there. But now the next step is we can add a piece of this white 1x3, go that way, then we can start running our pipe to the other outlet over there. Alright, so now that I got that piece installed all the way down there, that is where the other outlet's going to go. So now I can start cutting this PVC conduit that I have. And what I actually got to do, I got to make a little bit of offset coming out of here. That way it sits flush with this board. Because I don't know if you can see, but this end sits up off of this board. So I need to be able to offset this pipe so it's flush with that. And I think I got a cool way of doing it. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I made this little jig here. It's got some screws in there. And I cut little pieces of the PVC in there. So I'll actually heat this up with a heat gun. Once it gets to, I don't know, flexible enough, I slide it in here. And I should be able to bend this end down. And that should be able to make one side of the offset that I need. So after I do that, I'll just flip it around and then bend it the other way. That way it'll sit flat. Alright, it actually worked out pretty well for the first time ever trying to bend PVC. I think it worked out pretty good. You can kind of see offset a little bit there. And it helped too, because after I did it and bent it, if you have little glass of water or something there, so then you can dip the end of the pipe in there, because then that actually kind of freezes this pipe, flash freezes it, to help hold it in place a little better. And now the next thing we got to do is we got this wire coming up from the basement. This will be the hot wire coming through. And this will have the GFCI outlet in there. And the wires have to run through this GFCI outlet to protect the other outlets downline from it. So now what I got to do, I got to run a wire from this box. It'll come down through here and out this end and through the pipe we just bent over there, and it'll pop up through the other outlet. Just realized that I gave myself way too much slack to work with here. Alright, now that we got it screwed in on that end, wired, strung through it, all we have to do now is we can add these little guys. That'll go over this, and we can screw it into this 1x3, and that'll hold this PVC pipe in place. And it should look pretty good. And here we go. First step of the project complete. Not too shabby. It takes a little bit of work and time, but I think it'll look pretty good in the end. Now the next step is, so I got to run PVC up there, over, across, around this corner, and then it'll actually come down here, put an outlet there, and then there's actually going to be another outlet over on that side there. All right, it's a new day. Now we got all this done, as you can see, came up and around, over, came down to here, it came down over there. Now these two are going to be where other two outlets are going to be. Now, it's been kind of a challenge because I can't really find the studs behind these walls. I know I can kind of see where the nails and stuff are, but behind this sheetrock is another about 1.5 inches thick of foam, and that's over top of the studs. So a normal stud finder doesn't work, so it's just been kind of punching a lot of holes and missing studs. So yeah, it's been cool. Alright, so the next step of this project now is going to be a lot more cutting and bending of this PVC conduit. So it should be pretty fun. And I'll kind of string the wire as I'm installing the conduit up and around there. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's an arm workout. Oh, wait. Alright, so now that we got all the conduit ran up and around and all the wires strung through it, you can start seeing the end of the project. So now, what I gotta do, I think I'm gonna start wiring in outlets. And the first one I'll start with is that one right there, and that'll be the first outlet in the run, and that'll be the GFCI outlet. Alright guys, so we're at the last step of the project now. The last thing we got to do is we can put in our new 20 amp breaker. Alright guys, it is now the moment of truth to see if we can get power out there. Got everything wired up, should be all ready to go. All we got to do now is send some power to it. So what do you guys say? Let's go check it out. Alright, so here we are in the garage. Let's see if we get some power. Just got a little heat gun here. Let's see if it'll work. Look at there. Success. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you guys enjoyed this video, why don't you hit that like and subscribe button, because we got plenty of projects planned for the near future. So stay tuned.